Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air.
Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The after-checks are quick. Count out anybody who wants it the most.
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out.
Wheel to wheels, they come to the line.
What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is gonna end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Start your engines!
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
We now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
High pressure, high stakes. It feels like the whole world's watching every move that I make. Another sunrise, another warning, but I'm still learning how to hold the line, how to quiet down the noise inside. And the moments slip away when I forget what I need. So I steady up my hands, let the rhythm set me free. I remember to breathe when the whole world shakes me down. Clear mind, finally free. I won't break, I won't bow. I'm holding on. Yeah, I'm stronger than I seem. I remember to breathe.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into Infinity Broadcasting, and welcome into High Side Motorsports Season 2 for Round 7 as we go racing for the Dodge City 250 here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Hamish Munro here with you, bringing all the action through sight and sound on the Infinity Broadcasting Network here on YouTube. We welcome you to join us by hitting the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon too for the longest night in racing this season. It is going to be an absolutely spectacular one. It's the second round of the in-season tournament. Points are to be won towards the chase format at the end of the season, but there's also personal glories to be gained across the 250 miles, 166 laps that we'll be doing here this evening out at Kansas. Let's have a quick look at our calendar and where we are in the season thus far. We've run through the first 6 rounds, plus the Clash, plus the All-Star race as well, and it was absolute chaos last time out of Martinsville 2 weeks ago, and it's been a nice and quiet little break in between races, I suppose, after that non-championship round. But we return to Kansas tonight. 3 stages. First will be lap 30, then lap 80, and then the race end at lap 166. And that is what is on offer for those drivers tonight. 250 miles of possible pain and anguish, but also 250 miles to prove themselves and to win this race here this evening as well. We're going to be away for the next 2 weeks before we head out to Sonoma for the road course round of the regular season, before the in-season tournament kicks off again in Richmond Raceway, and then to the Frogman 150 at Homestead, Miami, and then the regular season will end at the Rocket City 170 at Talladega Super Speedway before the chase will begin at Chicagoland into Watkins Glen International for the Hammerdown 125, the Macho Ham 250 at Bristol, and the Safe and Electric and Plumbing 150 at Phoenix before the Charlotte Classic returns in the final chase at season's end. Looking at the current championship standings, Kevin Rinker sits on 291 points ahead of Charles Rinker on 247. Remembering that the cutoff line is P12 to make the chase, so there are some drivers knocking on the door behind Damon Marotta, including Jordan Miller, Ryan Hatch, Magnus Anderson, the 3 Cornman Racing cars within that top 15 as well, to Jesse James, Dalton Henson, Austin Stamper, Paul Harris, and even Steve Linger as well. Looking at our current team standings at the moment, it is being controlled by 325 Racing on their 921 points. A further 225 points behind them, 215 points behind them, is Hobnobber Racing, before you then get to Infinity Motorsport, Bucket Motor Club, Cornman Racing, Hammerdown Racing, RC Motors, 1320 Enterprises, and the Velocity Racing team at the back end as well. You can see the top position driver for each team. Top 2 in the championship, the top position drivers of their respective teams, 325 Racing and Bucket Motor Club. Then you go down to P5, 6, and 8 for Hobnobber Racing's Rob Stevens Jr., Justin Day at Hammerdown Motorsports, and Zach Smathers of Infinity Motorsports as well. Jordan Miller sits top for Cornman Racing with Steve Scarborough, Todd Merkel, and Jack Anderson as the other lead drivers for their teams. Looking at the in-season tournament where we sit thus far, the first round at Michigan saw us knock out Ryan Hatch, Bailey Brandon, Charles Rinker, Jordan Miller, Jesse James, Blake Hullett, Paul Harris, and Cody Pruitt. We now get down to the final 8, the round of 8, ironically during World Cup time as the knockouts are about to begin. we have gotten well into the knockout stage of the in-season tournament. Kevin Rinker will take on Nick Mercer tonight. Damon Marotta takes on Mike Rinker. Will McKellar takes on Justin Day. Robert Stevens Jr. is not here today, so Zach Smathers actually gets a bye round going into Richmond. He will automatically make the semi-final of the in-season tournament out at Richmond, where he will face either Will McKellar or Justin Day on that side of the bracket. Qualifying is about to begin as drivers have headed out on track here at Kansas. Sun is beginning to set as well. We'll see what sort of lap times they've been getting on the board here in qualifying. Will McKellar has gone to pole position at this stage. Paul Harris has managed to put himself up into P7 after his previous lap time. Dalton Henson has now gone up to P8. Jonathan Day into the series now as well. So there's another day on circuit. Is it another day for them to maximise? He sits P9 ahead of Jesse James, who's inside the top 10. Charles Rinker not a qualifying that he would have been hopeful for. P20. Mike Rinker, Kevin Rinker, Steve Scarborough, Zach Smathers not setting lap times here tonight in qualifying. But we appreciate everybody joining us, of course, for what is bound to be an exciting race to come of 250 miles. And we hope you hop into the chat with us as you watch along throughout this race here this evening. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your opinions, who you want to keep an eye on, who you're watching throughout this race as well. And to give the point as Kevin Rinker heads out on circuit of who you need to be keeping an eye on, you'll see that there's some coloured backgrounds behind drivers' numbers on the timing tower. That is to represent who is in each block. Block A, B, C, and D. Red offering up Block A, or representing Block A. Blue representing Block B. Green representing Block C. And pink representing Block D. That's how you can tell who is beating the other person. It's whoever wins on the day out of the matchups on the in-season tournament that determines who goes on to the next round of the in-season tournament out at Richmond. So for Will McKellar, he's got to beat Justin Day. For Damon Marotta, he's got to beat Mike Rinker. For Nick Mercer, he's got to try and beat Kevin Rinker. For Zach Smathers, he has to beat nobody as long as he completes the lap. He'll be moving on to Richmond next time out in this in-season tournament. Kevin Rinker, can he set a good enough lap time to put this 42 machine up within the top 10, maybe even the top 5? Crosses the line after his first attempt. He goes to P9. So he is inside of the top 10. He'll start inside the top 10 unless Mike Rinker and Steve Scarborough knock him out as he comes around towards turn 3. We'll see what sort of lap time he'll put on the board here for his second attempt. Can he get this thing to the top and challenge his teammate Will McKellar at the top end of town? Scarborough goes to P20, so he's not looking like he's going to be challenging that top 10. Rinker will cross the line at the very end. He'll go P2 at the very end of qualifying. So a tough run has not found him into pole, but it has found him into P2 literally at the last possible moment, as we'll get ourselves ready for race start here tonight. And, well, it is going to be a hot starting grid off of the start line. Will McKellar, Kevin Rinker, 325 Racing, front row lockout here this evening. They'll start P1 and P2 alongside each other. Row 2, we then find Brian Day starting alongside Bailey Brannon out of P4 to row 3. In the top 6, we find Cody Pruitt alongside Trey Martin up and inside the top 10 to row 4. And the top 8, it is Magnus Anderson and Paul Harris starting alongside each other. Row 5 in the top 10, Dalton Henson starts alongside Jonathan Day in the 69 entry, it seems. To outside the top 10, we find Jesse James in a special livery that was supposed to be run last time out of the All-Star race, the Bill Clinton for President livery. He'll run that here tonight since he missed the All-Star race, unfortunately. John Roberts alongside him starts out of P12. Row 7 in the top 14, Nick Mercer will start alongside Austin Stamper for our top 14 cars to row 8. We then find Stephen Linger and Blake Hullett alongside each other and all hammer down 8th row of the grid. Row 9 in the top 18, Justin McCurdy starts alongside Nate Owen out there as well. To our top 20 in the 10th row of the grid, it is Damon Marotta and Steve Scarborough starting alongside each other. To row 11, you will find Justin Day and Charles Rinker with an unfortunate qualifying for himself. He'll have work to do here tonight, but it's a very long race for himself to get forward. And final row, Mike Rinker, Zach Smathers starting alongside each other. So we'll see how well they fight. We'll see how well they race across the piece here this evening. Everybody is lining up in pit lane. See Smathers there, got a special bomb pop livery on his car for the evening as well. As the front few will prep themselves to push on here throughout this race, as McKellar and Rinker will lead us off of the rolling start line in pit lane. Importantly tonight, it's about keeping yourself neat and tidy. You've got 3 stages to get through. You want to try and keep yourself in the mix across this whole race. 166 laps. Plenty of time to get a comeback going. Plenty of time to get into the wars. Plenty of time to fix your car if you get into some strife as well. And just holding yourself accountable. Holding yourself at a steady go. That's going to be one of those key factors if you want to win here this evening. It could come down to sheer luck that you get an early incident, you go to the very back of the field, and by the end of the race you're up the front and you're winning. We have seen that happen before. It's also a case of you can lead the whole race, have very poor luck, get wrecked at the very end, and all of a sudden you're not in a race-winning position anymore as the pace car will come in. McKellar, Rinker, 325 Racing, they will get us underway at the green flag drop into the restart zone. Green flag here out at Kansas Speedway as they get the foot to the floor. Power down, pressure on. Can you turn yourself into a diamond, or are you going to crumble like the sand beneath your feet on the beaches? It's the sparks come off the bottom of the cars through turn 1 and 2. McKellar and Rinker lead the way here, 2 wide. Should be good line of stern stuff. Maybe a little bit of plate racing available to them tonight as well as they flow through turn 3 for the very first time. The hot start, straight onto the triangle they go. And across the infield as well. Smathers into pit lane for a drive-through penalty that he has to commit to tonight on the first green flag attempt, so he'll come straight in. This will put him down the order, but might keep him out of trouble if there is a big one at some point. Through turn 3. You see how all the sparks that are flying off them. All pushing as much as they can. You've got to look after your tyres tonight. You have got 5 extra sets available to you, but you have to look after them. 5 sets of tyres on these cars means you need to try and maintain your tyres. You do not want to be in a position where you burn them up, you run them out, and you keep yourself in a bad position come race end. As Pruitt now challenging for that P2 position on Rinker. Rinker now caught out wide. Pruitt will come through into P2. He'll get the pull along from McKellar there as McKellar trying to decide, do I help my teammate or do I help somebody else? He's going to try and keep himself in the race lead as best he can. Watch for Brannon as well to sneak on forward. Pruitt and Rinker side by side now. Down the back straight. Can Pruitt get this move made? McKellar, though, could be helping his teammate a little bit better here, it must be said. He could help pull his teammate ahead of Pruitt and keep that car in P2. There you see Anderson and Day starting to encroach up on this front pack as well. Lap 5 of 30. Nice, clean, green run thus far in this one. They're keeping themselves in check and tidy to this stage of the race as they run down the backstretch once again. Pruitt drops back. Brannon now looking for the outside run here to get up into P3 himself. Can he sneak this 6 car forward? He's already won a race this season. He wants to challenge for the championship when we get down to the chase. Some more wins could help him go a long, long way to keeping that car in a positive position come the championship. That's what's on the line for him. That's what he's got to hold on to. And that is what he's racing for this season. Big move to the inside now. Pruitt goes for the race lead through turn 3 and 4. He's got that run that he needs once again now on McKellar. He's trying to make the inside line work for him as best he can. Can he finish off this move, take that 16 car to the race lead? The issue I'm finding is if he's wearing out these tyres by scrubbing them so hard on that inside line, how long are they going to last? They've got to make lap 31 before they can make a pit stop realistically because of the stage end at lap 30. The fuel can get them there for sure, But you don't want to burn your stuff up too early before you even get to that critical point of the race. One of those money stops we often speak about. Got to plan for it. Got to plan around it. And keep yourself and your car in check as you fight your way forward throughout this race. In through turn 2. You can see that Rinker and Brannon side by side fighting hard here. Trey Martin now caught up in a gaggle of cars as well. His teammate Harris gets by him. Henson ahead of him as well. Watch to the inside for Jonathan Day. Trying to sneak his way through. Jesse James is up in this as well. This is the battle at the back end of the top 10. It's an absolute gaggle of cars. A scramble for position back here as Harris is doing well to hold on to the position here in P8 where he started the race. Martin now dropping to P10 as James and Rinker fight side by side. Good start from Mike Rinker off of the back row. Those two big American flag liveries fighting away for position. They're doing well just to hang on to this stage of the race. But this is where we may see the first caution come out, is amongst this pack of cars, because only one wrong move out of line, only one mistake for a moment could find us in hot water and could find the pace car out on track once again. And Martin and Mike Rinker continue to battle away here for position. And we see Bailey Brannon's having a bad blink up ahead of him, unfortunately. Right now, the drivers that would be moving on is Will McKellar, Kevin Rinker, Mike Rinker, and Zach Smathers are those that would be moving on to the next round in the in-season tournament at this stage. Justin Day, Nick Mercer, Damon Marotta, they've got work to do if they wish to move on to Richmond and fight for this as best they can. They don't really want to allow the 325 racing cars that are at the top end of the upper end of this championship to get through to the next round of the in-season tournament as well. It would be dominance personified if they managed to do it. Everyone else, though, is hoping to put a challenge to them. I suppose for Marotta, he doesn't want to. He's a part of that crew. He's a part of that team. Oh, sorry, no, he's not. He's part of Hobnumber Racing. So, you know, you don't want to allow all three of those 325 cars through. There is a world in which we leave Kansas here tonight and only one of them remains. And in that instance, it would come down to whether Marotta or Rinker goes through, or if Mercer or Rinker goes through. I do apologise. So no matter what, we're going to lose one of the 325 racing cars in the in-season tournament, but there's only one world where only one of them goes through, and it would be Kevin Rinker or Nick Mercer. Everyone else would then have to be knocked out, including Will McKellar and Mike Rinker here tonight. But with McKellar in the race lead, it's looking less and less likely that he would be knocked out here tonight. Marotta as well dropping positions here as Mercer battles away with him. Lap 14 of 30. We're nearly at the halfway point here of the stage. They've done incredibly well to keep themselves in line as Brian Day goes for the inside run here on Kevin Rinker. Gets that job done. Rinker now dropping back a little bit here, maybe trying to pull a bit of a fuel save as Brannon gets loose off the wall. Watch for Magnus Anderson to sneak by as well. There he goes into P2. We know that Magnus has got great pace as through comes Brian Day. Watch for Kevin Rinker as well, but Brannon has really been caught out here by that mistake. Tell you what, the halfway point of the stage has absolutely flown by. Been great green flag running. And for the longest night at High Side Motorsports this season, they're doing a fantastic job to keep themselves green and mean. Probably one of the top two best races last season was the Brickyard 250, the Battle at the Brickyard. That was an unbelievable affair at Indianapolis for the longest race last season. That, alongside the Charlotte Classic, in my opinion, were the two best races of Season 1. And right now, Kansas is really turning up the heat and turning up to be possibly one of the best races thus far this season as well. So 250 miles, the drivers are eating it up for breakfast at this stage of the season. Good long-form racing gives them the opportunity to fight and battle hard for position all throughout. This gaggle of cars with Justin Day amongst them. You've got Justin McCurdy in there too. John Roberts leading it is Austin Stamper at this stage. Further back in it, Steve Scarborough and Nate Owen are all in this too. There is Zach Smathers on his lonesome in that bomb pop livery for July 4th weekend. Oh, contact with Kevin Rinker. Caution is out. First yellow flag of the race as McCurdy and Charles Rinker come piling in. Let's see what's happened to Kevin Rinker. So, getting somewhat loose. Was there contact with Henson? I think there was. Let's watch this here. So, Rinker comes through. Henson's to his inside. It looks like Rinker starts to come down on him possibly. Contacts made. Up in the wall he goes. Everyone tries to come through. Unfortunately, one of the cars just unable to make it through there. That might have, that was not Stephen Linger. Who was it that came through and made that contact? That might have been, wasn't Austin Stamper, wasn't Dalton Henson, not Justin McCurdy. Well, helpful if I can find who it was. It was Damon Marotta, one of the in-season tournament drivers. And that there is an unfortunate moment for Kevin Rinker. It's brought out an early pace car. Brandon's going to come in to offset his fuel load a little bit, as will Rinker and Henson. Zach Smathers will now get his lucky dog to get back on the lead lap. Linger and Rinker are into pit lane, of course, with that damage for Kevin Rinker. We apologise tonight as well for the later broadcast start. There was some issues with the server that they had set up. They had to make a new server and we then had to reload in a little bit later on as we waited for the new server to go up. So 5 cars at the back of the field into pit lane. Will McKellar, the race leader, but with Magnus Anderson on his heels. How long will he survive in P1 on July 4th weekend, which is coming up next weekend, of course. So we're a week away from the July 4th celebration. So, as we stated, a couple of drivers have got their Independence Day liveries running here tonight, including Will McKellar, with that American flag on board. Let's try and show some of these off as best we can. There is Will McKellar's special livery for this weekend, since we're not racing next weekend on July 4th. So there we go, that's a much better view of it. So the Nuka-Cola car, but with that US flag. Showing that one off here tonight as well. There was a few others that we noticed too at one stage. Jesse James, of course, has got that Bill Clinton for President livery on board his car as well. As a running joke within that team, for reasons unbeknownst to some, but beknownst to others. There you see Bill on the bonnet too. So just showing that off for him too here tonight. And is that looks like Monica Lewinsky on the B pillar. So they often run with someone who they want to race for on the B pillar. Of course, Trey Martin has Raheem Rhodes on his B pillar. Paul Harris has Catwoman Bailey Brannon, and Zach Smathers has his dog, of course, who passed away last season, on his B pillar of his car. So, but we're going to get ready for a restart. Will McKellar looking to fight and race his way to a race win this season, and as well to a round win for the in-season tournament as well. As pace car comes in, first restart zone about to be hit off of the first caution of this race. Lap 20 or 30, it is 9 to go, or 10 to go in the stage. As McKellar leads us to Anderson, Day, Harris, Pruitt, Hullett, James, Martin, Marotta. That's the top 10. See, oh, big wiggle there from Cody Pruitt. That's going to drop him down the order now. Cody Pruitt dropping down the order after a big wiggle off of turn 2. That's dropped him right to the back of the field. Damon Marotta as well is getting dropped back because of the gaggle of cars battling away together. That is an unfortunate moment for Cody Pruitt. That's going to drop him out of possible stage points here in stage 1. And now this is where you got to try and solidify them. So late in the stage, you could sneak yourself in, get yourself some stage points here. As Anderson looks to battle away for the race lead. Tries to sneak it up the inside of Will McKellar. Gives him a little bit of a door through turn 3. Now watch this drive. As Magnus Anderson is driving for his life to the front end of town. Race lead for Anderson with 8 laps to go. Could he win himself the stage as McKellar's been dropped back? Brian Day, Jonathan Day, they battle away for position as well. Justin Day, few positions down the order as Bailey Brannan has gone off the road, and that is going to take him out of stage points contention. It won't end the stage early as it is only lap 23, so we still have plenty of laps to get through this, and it was actually with Jesse James. So let's try and watch this back to see how this comes about between them. So, well, Jesse definitely starts to come up on Bailey. Bailey holds his line. There is some net code in there, it will be said, but Jesse might get pinged to that with an EOL. He definitely came up on him and made the contact. But it was net code, so it has been deemed no penalty for Jesse James. The 11 also had the EOL on the last restart as well. Just to confirm that one there. Magnus Anderson into this race lead. Let's look at Zach Smathers' special delivery for July 4th weekend. Also, it is the Bomb Pop car. He's running with very American flag style for Zach. And he's running within this race. As he'll come into pit road, he'll put some fuel in it. I doubt he'll take tyres. I know he will take tyres here. Okay, so he's actually going to offset his stop a little bit here as he comes down pit road. Full set of tyres going aboard that car. Marotta as well, I don't believe is taking tyres. I believe this is just fuel. No, tyres for Mercereau and tyres for Roberts. Well, that is a sexy car on Nick Mercereau's entry. The USA hockey car. That is really, really nice. Really well done. So, Magnus Anderson leads the way here in the stage. McKellar, Brian Day, Jonathan Day, Kevin Winker, Jesse James, Paul Harris, Charles and Mike Rinker, Trey Martin. That is the top 10 to this point of the race. Right now, making it through the next round of the in-season tournament, Will McKellar, Kevin Winker, Mike Rinker, and Zach Smathers all going through to the next round. And it was Bonita Boy versus Bill Clinton. I don't know if Bailey's feeling very Bonita after that one. But he'll be hoping to push on here for the rest of stage number 1. Two cautions in quick succession. Will we see a third? Well, we know we're definitely going to see a third because of the stage end. But will it be one that ends the stage early, or will they manage to make it to the real stage end of lap 30? As Magnus Anderson, Will McKellar, side by side for this restart zone. See Jesse James up there, good points opportunity for him now to finish within this top 5 of the top 10 for the stage points here in stage 1. Anderson's done really well to this point to get that car to the front end of town. He's up 6 into P1 at the moment. It's a mega effort for him to be in this race lead. McKellar won't be all that unhappy. He's still at the front row. He's still within the top 2 after starting on pole. The car is still clean. Ryan Day's done well to maintain P3 at the moment. Jonathan Day's done really well to get up 6. Charles Rinker up 15. Mike Rinker up 13 into the top 10. That's a great run for the Rinker brothers. Up 28 positions together as they come across the start-finish line. 4 laps to go in stage 1. And Magnus Anderson has pulled off a magnificent and spectacular restart. As Brian Day will get past McKellar, Jonathan Day is going to try and push him through as well. All of a sudden, McKellar now dropping to P4 ahead of his teammate. Kevin Rinker. So Anderson in the race lead. But Brian Day wants this round the outside through turn 3. Can he take it from him and claim the stage win here this evening? Kevin Rinker though looks to sneak up the inside of both the days. We'll get up now into P2. What a run for Kevin Rinker as John Roberts, Cody Pruitt are wrecking in the background. Is it going to bring out a caution? No, it's not. It's across the grass. That's Kevin Rinker. Looks to take the race lead through turn 1 and 2. Can he get it done round the outside? Yes, he can. Kevin Rinker to the race lead ahead of Magnus Anderson. 3 laps to go in the stage. 2 to go when they get to the strike. Can Magnus Anderson come back at Kevin Rinker here, or has Rinker got the pace discrepancy? Remembering he pitted on lap 18. Fresh tyres on that car. Fresh tyres have paid dividends for him, as he's now able to push on for the rest of stage number 1. He pulled out a very strange and bold strategy to come in early, put some tyres on it, put some fuel in it. And this has paid off massively for him. It was a full set of tyres that he put on board this car. White flag at the stage end. Anderson doesn't have the tyres to hang with him. The issue now, though, for Kevin Rinker is what's this next long run going to be like? It's 50-odd laps before we get to stage 2. And then you've got to run 86 laps to the race end. How are the tyres going to hold up for you all the way to the checkered flag? Justin McCurdy's in pit lane. Unfortunately, he's now exiting pits, but he'll miss out on stage points. Round the final corner will come, though. Look at the comeback, though, for Bailey Brannan after being off the road earlier on. Kevin Rinker will win the stage to Brannan, to Anderson, Day, Rinker, Day, McKellar, Harris, Rinker and James. That's the top 10, and that is the stage results. Now, you would assume that we're not going to see anybody come down. Well, sorry, you've got to assume that we're not going to see anybody stay out of pit lane on this run round. Everyone should be in at this stage of the affairs. Those that have already pitted for a set of tyres should be coming in just for a little splash of gas. No tyres going on those cars. Those that stayed out will take tyres. That will drop them back a little bit in the field when they come around. But knowing how close the pack racing has been, knowing how close they've all been hanging out together, as Kevin Rinker is actually going to stay out. Brannan's going to come in. Anderson, Day, McKellar, and everyone in behind them is coming in. But Rinker and Rinker have stayed out on the road. Merceau stayed out on the road. Smathers has stayed out on the road as well after pitting on lap 24. So an interesting call for them not to come in and put the splash of gas in. I thought it would have been sound strategy to get in there for a splash of fuel, just to offset yourself that little bit further. As Brannan will drop an exit after the fuel goes on board the car. He'll come out in P5. Will McKellar, of course, remembering, has to take tyres on this stop, so he'll drop positions below Roberts, Day and Anderson. So a slower stop for McKellar has cost him key positions in this race. He'll come out just ahead of Paul Harris, Charles Rinker, Jesse James, Trey Martin as well. But that top 4 have all stayed out at this point of the race. They've not decided to come in, knowing that perhaps they can make it to the next point of the race that they need to, the next key stop tonight, around about the lap 60 marker at the end of this fuel run. It's a bold and interesting choice for them to try and pull this off. We're getting confirmation of the stage results from race controller Brian Bavocic, as we do have confirmation. It was Kevin Rinker ahead of Brannan, Anderson, Jonathan Day, Mike Rinker, Brian Day, McKellar, Paul Harris, Charles Rinker, and Jesse James was the top 10 for the stage results. What more could come about, though, here tonight? The lights are out on the pace car, but the cars are not lined up side by side at the front end of the field. So they may need to extend this by a lap because they're supposed to be double file for the restart. There's a little bit of contamination at the front end of town because the 20... Oh, no, it's not, sorry. There's no contamination, sorry. I thought 24 Nick Mercer was actually Dustin McCurdy. It is not. So now they'll get too wide down the back stretch and prep themselves ready for race start here tonight. Off the second stage beginning. First stage has ended. It was good points on the board for those that finished at the top end. Crucially, for those that are wanting to challenge Kevin Rinker, they need to try and claw some points back on him. Not allow him to lock himself into the chase before the end of the season. There's still plenty of racing to do before then. To the restart zone we go, as they come down and across the start-finish line. Restart once more, as we'll have to fix that stage end number because for whatever reason it's not calculating it properly. So we're not on lap 575. Donkey. Well, hopefully it fixes itself. We're going out to lap 80 though, as stage 2 is underway. Kevin Rinker leads this to Mike Rinker, Nick Mercer in the top 3. Brannon and Smathers fighting away here. Brannon, of course, with some newer tyres than these front runners after pitting under the stage end. He's got 14 lap newer tyres than Mike Rinker and Kevin Rinker do, and he's got 8 lap newer tyres than Smathers and Mercer. How much will that affect them going forward? How much will that affect them after their strategy call, the bold strategy call, trying to throw a spanner in the works? And saying the crash caused me to burn my forehead on my curling wand. Well, I'm so sorry. So sorry, Toots, that you have been burnt by the curling wand. Hopefully you can cool it down and it doesn't hurt you too much today. As Nick Mercer has dropped way down the order after staying out under the stage break. He's really going to have work to do if he hopes to knock out Kevin Rinker here this evening. Although it is battle of the teammates between them, they may want to keep Kevin around knowing that he could win the whole tournament for that team. That's another notch in the belt for that team if that were to happen. Zach Smathers now putting the pressure on the inside of Brannon, as Mike Rinker giving him a little bit of push and shove and a bit of pull in front of them as well. Lap 8 of 80, 10th of the way through. So we start lap 9 on stage 2 here. And Brannon's doing so well just to hang out with him, looking incredibly tidy up and amongst this top 4, as Smathers now goes to the outside of Mike Rinker. So he's using those 6 lap fresher tyres to get himself into the race lead. Oh my God. Oh, Brannon getting loose. Crash is happening on the main stretch. John Roberts caught up in it, as was Magnus Anderson and Mike Rinker. It's a big one across the tri-oval. Let's have a look what's happened here. This was a wild, wild moment. So there you see Mike Rinker sliding up high. Brannon hits the wall, slides straight into Mike. Contact with Anderson. Brannon loses it. Brannon's probably going to get a penalty for that. He is more than likely going to get a penalty because of how that incident has come about. Let's watch this back from the overhead. So, Mike trying to sit strong on the middle part of that staggered 3 wide. Brannon comes off the wall into the door of Rinker, across the nose of Anderson. So then there you see Mike Rinker going off into the nether. And then Bailey Brannon, who was getting loose at this point, makes contact, slides up into his own teammate, John Roberts, collides him into the wall. And it is all hell breaking loose in amongst that pack of cars. All hell. A lot of cars into pit lane. Kevin Rinker, of course, is going to come in off of the race lead after that this free pit stop, but he has overshot the pit box though. That's going to hurt him. Charles Rinker's going to get out of pit lane ahead of him now. How many others are actually going to jump him here? Not many, only Charles did, but that could cost him key time and positioning. So now Zach Smathers is into the race lead. EOL for Bailey Brandon after bouncing off the wall and causing that wreck. I was having a laugh before though for breaking wheels. I've been here the whole time. I'm just John Cena tonight. So she's been invisible. And Rhiannon saying I was getting worried about the wrestling commentary not showing up. So John Cena is out there, apparently. We just can't see him. So Marotta, Winker, Anderson. Anderson in pit lane, by the way, with a meatball flag. So that there is very tough for Anderson. He's waiting for a tow back to pit lane to get himself going once again. As the caution is out there, let's drag him in for a very quick chat. Hello, Magnus. How are you? Yeah, I don't blame you, honestly. I really don't blame you.
Steering, so more than likely I'm going to be probably 5 laps down before I even get off pit road.
Well, what I was going to state is, at the very least, you have got the fast repair available, and the way this race is going, I think you'll get your lucky dog quite a few times to get back onto the lead lap. I was going to confirm if you had a fast repair, but since you say you're going to get off pit road, that means you do, and you haven't mistakenly left it turned on at some point. But we'll let you cool off for this next portion. I suppose hopefully you get back out there as soon as possible, and maybe there's some cautions that could help you get back on the lead lap in future.
Yeah, how many cars are lapped down right now? Just me?
It's just you.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
No worries, best of luck. Magnus Sanderson there. Obviously frustrated after that incident. He's going to have to wait now after having to tow back to pit lane. So Zach Smathers into the race lead for the caution restart here within stage 2. Gets us to green flag running lap 13 of 80 for stage 2 here tonight. Brian Day, Will McKellar tucked up in behind him with Jonathan Day as well. Smathers has found himself in a hot position at the top end. Oh, Anderson actually is going to manage to get out of pit lane here, so he's actually not going to be nearly as far down as what he thought he was. He's only 2 laps down on the race leaders, so that's actually not too horrible. As Brian Day looks for an outside run here to go to the race lead on Smathers. Can Brian Day sneak it through? Yes, he can. Will McKellar now on the heels as well. So Smathers on the oldest tyres of the whole field. Back on lap 24 was when he last pitted. But he's trying to offset this strategy a little bit here as we've gotten out to lap 44. Brian Day tucks up ahead of Will McKellar. Smathers, though, still in the race lead. Watch for Jesse James as well. He's looking to sneak his way forward. Day and McKellar now on the outside. James trying to sneak through to the inside here. Watch out as well for Jonathan Day, looking to try and give him some push and shove through. Side by side battle for P3 as James looks to come off the benefactor of Brian Day running high. He's got Austin Stamper in behind him. Can they work together to push themselves forward here? Off the caution restart. Brian Day's going to hang on. As now Will McKellar looks to go over the race lead on Zach Smathers through turn 3. McKellar rolls through. Unbelievable. Unbelievable little scramble here that we're getting as James is looking to get this car onto the podium and roll through for the rest of this stage. And he's trying to do it in the most democratic manner possible. Not through voting or not through polling, but through campaigning. Campaigning with that throttle pedal to fight and push and keep the speed into it and push it up onto this podium position here in the stage. Brian Day's not going to give it to him for free though. He's going to make him earn it for as much as possible as Smathers and McKellar enter turn 1 up in P1 and 2. This side-by-side battle continues on for P3. Unbelievable that they're able to hang on to each other like this. It's incredible stuff. It's impeccable. It's wondrous. as they continue this battle once more as lap 18 about to get underway. It's also lap 48 of the regular race distance. But lap 18 of stage number 2, Scarborough and Henson battling away further back as well. This gaggle of cars is ginormous. Absolutely ginormous. I mean, look at that. Unbelievable. And they're rolling straight through turn 3, in through turn 3, 4, and off the other side. Just an unbelievable as Trey Martin's gone round into the wall. Trey Martin goes round. Yellow flag is out. How has this come about for him? Well, it is the 52 of Steve Scarborough coming down, hooking up Martin, pushing him straight in the wall. Scarborough will get done for that. He will get done for it by race control, because that there is, well, it's about as egregious as we've ever seen it. You see there, he gets a little bit spooked from the car on the outside, comes down low, self-clears the rear end of Martin and dumps him up into the wall. That, if anything, that will be an EOL for Scarborough. That's put John Roberts and Trey Martin into pit lane with meatball flags. So Trey will have to get this car fixed up. Magnus Anderson, luckily for him, is going to get his lucky dog, so he'll get waved around now onto lap 47. So he will be now only one lap down on the field. Exactly what he needed at this part of the race. That's a great run for him. Will McKellar's in, Brian Day's in, so is John Day as well. As we've hit lap 50, so a good amount of half the field are coming in. And they're doing this knowing they can make the stage end. But knowing the amount of chaos and carnage we're getting, it's fairly sound strategy for them just to stay out on the road right now. Try and remember, you've got to go 166 laps. You've only got those 5 sets available to you. You have got to try and make the most of them. You've got to try and make the most of them. And yes, it's going to be tough right now to just push on for 50 odd laps or 30 odd laps till your pit stop. You're offsetting yourself by about 10 laps in comparison to these drivers that have stayed out here. We get a caution in 10 laps time. You've offset yourself enough that yes, you're going to be at the front end of town for the final 20 laps of the stage. But how much worth is it going to be for you doing that, knowing there's going to be fresh rubber on board at the rest of the field, and that they're going to have the grip advantage over you off of a pace car restart? It's bold. No doubt about it. Bold strategy for them to do this. It's a bold strategy equally for those to stay out at this point of the race as well. But there's so long left in this race, you've got to think about it of, do you want to play the game for stage end or you want to play the game for race end? Do you want to go for stage points? Do you want to go for race points? And balancing between trying to go for both of them is a very difficult thing to do at this point of the race. Very, very difficult. As Magnus Anderson's come into pit road, he's brought his car in for a pit stop here. He got his lap back, so he is back onto a lap down now on the race leaders. But it's how are you going to balance it? How are you going to strategize around the rest of this race? Yes, it's a little bit of a throw the dice crapshoot for them to figure out what's going to land. And we may only find out what strategy plays off best by the time we get to the end of the race. But in stating that, for the likes of Smathers, James, Pruitt, Stamper, Harris, the Rinker brothers, Kevin Winker as well, they're all playing this strategy very similarly. Now, for the Rinker brothers and Kevin Winker, they came in on lap 40, so they've got slightly fresher tyres than the front runners. Zach Smathers has got the oldest tyres of the whole field. His tyres now, he last been on lap 24. They are now over 25 laps old at this stage of the race. So this has been his longest stint on tyres to this point, but there has been some cautions to keep the wear down on them. Through the restart zone though they go. To green flag running. It is lap 53 of 166. It's the 23rd lap of stage 2. And it is Smathers and James. Top two positions right now. Cody Pruitt in behind with Austin Stamper. Paul Harris up and amongst the top five with Mike Rinker, Nate Owen, Kevin Winker, Charles Rinker, Dalton Henson. That's the top 10 to this point of the race. As Smathers is trying to push on here on the older tyres, the oldest tyres in the field. As James looks to try and sneak on by him if he can. Possible sound strategy to keep that car out of pit lane. It's only been one stop for those top four cars. Pruitt and Harris with them as well. As Pruitt now looks to go down the inside of Smathers here. The old tyres, they're starting to wear as caution comes out. And mayhaps it couldn't have come out at a better time. Because it's going to give an opportunity for these drivers to pit for free if they didn't pit last time by, as Brian Day is around and off the road. This is what happened to Brian Day. He had Bailey Brannon to his inside. Oh, that's going to be a tough one for race control to call. That'll be very, very tough for race control to call. Let's try and watch this. So Day is riding up high towards the wall. Brannon is coming up towards him as well, though. He then holds the line. Day then starts to come down. That is going to be a very interesting call for race control to make. That's going to be a tough one, in my opinion. That is going to be a very tough one. We know previously the 52 had a end of line for contact on that 48. In the pit lane now goes Austin Stamper. We're waiting for Brian Bavocic to confirm this as well. Kelly Parker giving the love to Jesse James in the chat. Amanda Joy as well giving the love to Kevin Winker. It's great to have you all watching along, giving the love to those that are supporting. Broken Wheels, of course, is giving the love to Zach Smathers. The 70 self-clears across the nose of the 6, so it's an EOL to, I would assume, the 70, not the 10, because it's been stated that the EOL is going to the 10 car. I don't know why it would. But penalties going the way of the 70. He'll go to the back end of the field here for this restart zone. So interesting call for the front runners to stay out there once again. But I suppose for them, they are in the safest place possible. The front end of town. They are away from the mistake-ridden mid-pack, which has caused the cautions to come out tonight. And this race may come down to not only good tyre strategy, but good race strategy too. Good, smart racecraft is what you may need to win this race. Keeping yourself at the front of the field, that is one of the keys to victory as a part of the strategy that goes behind keeping yourself with good track positioning. That's what's going to be important at this stage of the race. See that for James and for Smathers, they look strong at the top end. Breaking Wheel saying, if you smell what the smam is cooking, round and asking farts. And she's saying, oh, you don't know the half of it. So Mr. Smathers appears to have some gas about him as well. But it is going to be a pedal to the metal moment for those front two. Trying to push themselves to the ultimate at this stage. We'll see if they're safe at the top end, if they're going to get caught out by something, or if this strategy is going to play off for them. Pace car is in to pit road. Restart zone lights up once more as James gets us underway with Smathers alongside, Pruitt in behind. Rinker and Harris to Henson, Winker, McKellar, Rinker and Owen. That is the top 10. As lap 58 of 166 underway, lap 28 of the stage. We're just past the halfway point of the stage here. I have just realised the issue that I have made in this one, and I'm about to fix it. There we go. I calced it wrong. Put in the wrong number. That's my fault. So, lap 29 of 50 here for the second stage of this race. As Jesse James pushes on now in the race lead. Zach Smathers has dropped below Cody Pruitt and Mike Rinker. And now he's going to get put under pressure here, possibly in the line for the lap 50 pitters. They've got the fresher tyres than him, 25 lap fresher tyres than him, mind you. So he's going to start to struggle here on this worn rubber. As lap 59 of 166 is complete, we get on to lap 60. And the caution would have come out now. Could be sound strategy for some of them. They've pushed on to save some fuel. The one thing they don't want to get caught out with right now is a green flag pit stop. They need a yellow flag to get called for them to get their free pit stop once again and to not get caught out a lap down on the whole field. James, though, race leader, Pruitt in behind him. Mike Rinker, Will McKellar, Bailey Brannan in the top 5. Zach Smathers trying to fight on forward, but he's at the biggest danger pot. He last pitted on lap 24. Fuel will roughly get you around about 30 to 35 laps. There's a little bit of fuel save available, of course, under those cautions, but how much further is this going to get him? He needs the caution if he wants to remain on the lead lap in this race. Now, he has not got much that he needs to try and prove tonight. He's got no one to beat in terms of in-season tournament standings. He gets that free kick on the way to Richmond. But can he get himself the lucky break that he needs, which is a caution to get a free pit stop without going a lap down on the entire field, as Jesse James now pushes to the low side. He's been dropped down low. You see Mike Rinker trying to go around him as well. He's coming into pit road. So pit stop's about to happen here. So they're actually being forced to take green flag stops because of the lack of caution. The one thing that would keep them okay in this scenario is it stays green until the stage end. They need it to stay green. They're into the box now. McKellar will come through into the race lead, of course. He'll put them a lap down as Smathers will exit pit lane. James will follow. Harris now into pit lane. So is that sound strategy going to pay off for them? They have gone a lap down, but ultimately they're behind Magnus Anderson. And they're now on the freshest tyres of the whole field, hoping to run them for the next 15 laps. They could find some time back once again. As Paul Harris is now into the pit box, he will get those tyres put on. He'll go a lap down on Will McKellar. Is this strategy worth it? Is it going to work for them? It's bold, it's brash. It's not safe at all. Sometimes you got to roll the dice and see what happens. At the end of this race, as James lets you get past his teammate, so will Smathers. And they now push on. So Will McKellar, though, race leader, lap 35 of 80. He's got Cody Pruitt, Bailey Brannan in behind him. Kevin Wink and Nick Mercer are together on track, so they're actually battling head-to-head, as is Marotta and Mike Rinker. So you couldn't have asked for a better scenario in terms of in-season tournament battles. They are literally head-to-head right now inside of this top 10, and Justin Day is the other one at the back end of the top 10 with his competitor, Will McKellar, at the front end of town. This is lining up to be a stadium stampede sort of affair here tonight at Kansas. Unbelievable storylines that are running throughout this race. As Mike Rink has now dropped 2 positions below Marotta, who's had quite a good run at the latter part of this, at the last few races of this season. Marotta's had some great pace. Mike has struggled for consistency throughout this season. Is that going to cost him on board this in-season championship and in-season tournament towards the chase starting in only 4 rounds' time? McCurdy now going to get past Mike Rinker as well. Will McKellar, though, well in the race lead. 0.6 of a second ahead of Bailey Brannan. And the fact that Cody Pruitt has run for this long on this set of tyres and is hanging with the front runners is a great sign for him, as we've hit lap 69, nice, of 166. And the fact then for Kevin Winker, who put on lap 41, wanting to go 40 odd laps on fuel. It's not out of the realm of possibility, because for Pruitt, he's only 2 laps away from going 40 laps on his tank of fuel. So the fact that he's only 4 laps away says to me that maybe Winker and the Rinker brothers can do it, but for the Rinker brothers, they're at risk of dropping outside of the top 10. So yes, they've upset themselves well enough to keep them within the positioning of getting to the stage end, but are they going to get a benefit of it in terms of fuel and in terms of points? As Damon Murata has had a moment on the... Oh my God, it's up at turn 3. That's with Brian Day and the 91 of Stephen Linger as well. That's what Magnus Anderson needed. The caution is out. He'll get his lap back from the wave around thanks to being the lucky dog. Let's see how this came about. Well, that looks to me like he's been turned by Jonathan Day. That's what that looks like it from my perspective on the above head, on the overhead shot. Let's try and watch this back a little bit better. So, does he come down on him? No, but he's definitely coming up. It's a very similar incident to Bailey Brandon's one earlier on with the 70 of Brian Day, as Pruitt, Winker, Day, Rinker, Hullett, Henson, Stamper, Day, Owen, they're all coming into pit lane. The problem for those guys that had already pit, for James, Smathers and Harris, they're now locked a lap down thanks to the pace car coming out. This is not what they wanted. Magnus Anderson, as we stated, should get his wave around. He will. So he'll now go on to the lead lap. Well, Magnus Anderson, after that heartbreak earlier on that put him 2 laps down. As Linger's also into pit lane now as well. So interesting call. They maybe couldn't make it on their fuel. They wanted to offset the tyres a little bit for Winker and the Rinker brothers, who all pit on lap 40, 41. So they've gone a little bit longer now. And the top 7 have stayed out on their fuel tank. They know they can make it to the stage end, because Anderson's actually going to gain some positions off of that wave around, so that's worked out well for him. Next lucky dog would go to Jesse James, then it would go to Zach Smathers, and then Paul Harris. We've got one car that's out of this race. It's John Roberts, who dropped out on lap 50 of this race, so he is out of this one after getting a meatball flag on that lap 50 caution that came out. Great to have you all watching as well with us. Hope you're enjoying the show. Hope you're enjoying the race as well. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing right here on the channel. We've got upcoming this week round 2 of season 28 of the Simrigs V8 Veterans action for Split 2. They go to Mexico City to Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. We're racing on Saturday evening, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. You can catch all that Supercars action. If you missed Bathurst for round 1, I implore you to go and watch it after this race. It was an unbelievable race, and the battle to the race end for James Boardman and Stephen Kokoschke as they fought for race victory at Bathurst was unbelievable. Go ahead and watch it after this one. Get a little bit of road course action into your viewing for the evening. It was a fun one, and then catch us live on Saturday evening as well, as I said, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. That is going to be an enjoyable watch for you, I'm sure. It'll roughly work out to around about 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US, so a little bit earlier. Watch us live and enjoy the show with myself and Brett Fisher in the booth. We've had confirmation from race control. When's the penalty going? It was no penalty. It was netcode together. The 69 and the 72. The There's no penalty going either one's way. Pace car in though. McKellar and Brannan control of the field. With Mercereau and Day in behind them. McCurdy, Scarborough, Martin, Winker, Pruitt, Rinker. That's the top 10. 7 laps to go in stage 2. Where you're going to situate yourself at race end. We can try and push on for points on the board. You see them, they're getting feisty. They're getting hungry for position here. Watch for Brannan with Mercereau. Winker, 3 wide with McCurdy. Jonathan Day. Charles Rinker now trying to sneak his way through as well. Watch for Henson as well. This is an absolute scramble of cars. Trying to get the last points positions as Mercereau makes contact. Charles Rinker up in the wall. Charles Rinker heavy contact up in the wall. With 6 laps to go on the stage, will that end it early? Pruitt into the wall as well. Multiple meatball flags, including Charles Rinker, including Cody Pruitt, including Nick Mercereau, and including Trey Martin. Unbelievably bad luck for them. Let's try and watch this one back. So this is already when they're trying to fight their way through. So actually we need to start this with Charles Rinker. Let's watch this here. So on the tri-oval, you see Mercereau and Kevin Winker. Massive net code. Massive net code on the inside of Mercereau. That then gets him loose. Up into Charles Rinker that then pushes him high into the wall. Massive contact. Trey Martin nowhere to go. McCurdy nowhere to go. The 10 of Justin Day nearly got caught up in it as well. Very lucky not to get massive contact. But that is multiple cars into pit lane with meatball flags. And I think that is race over for Charles Rinker, who's already used his fast repair here tonight. And that is his race done and dusted. That'll cost him P2 in the championship. That is going to cost him P2, which he's fought so hard to get to this season. Bailey Brannan and Will McKellar now licking their lips with the opportunity to sneak themselves into the top 2 of the title race. In behind Kevin Winker, unless he drops down the order. Smathers into pit lane now for a pit stop as well. James gets his lap back on the race leaders, so he goes on to the lead lap once again. Got a message from race control. Net code again, no penalty. It did not end the stage early, by the way, so the stage has not ended. It will end after this restart. Martin has now managed to fix his meatball flag. Marotta into pit lane with a longer stop. Same for McCurdy. Smathers is in there actually for a long time. This is a long stop for Smathers. Let's try and get an answer from him here to see why he's in there for so long. He's actually exiting now, so we'll quickly drag him in for a quick chat. Mr. Smathers, welcome in. Longer stop for you. Were you caught up in that wreck?
Yeah. Me and Magnus got tangled up there trying to slow down and avoid it. He came down a little bit. I wasn't expecting it to kind of compensate for it, but nothing too major, just about a minute and a half. So we'll dink and dunk, get it repaired.
Of course, special bomb pop livery for July 4th weekend, next weekend, of course, on board your car.
Gotta love the bomb pops. It's freedom in a popsicle.
You know, US flag in a popsicle. You know, what more could you want? We'll let you get back to the team.
As American as you can get, buddy.
It really is. Yeah, America is flavored by cherry. That is the flavor of America.
Yes, cherry. Blueberry and like a white raspberry. I have no idea what the white flavor is. Lemon.
Lemonade, maybe. Lemon flavor.
Lemon lime.
Yeah. We'll let you get back to it though. We'll chat to you soon. Best of luck. We'll see when you can get back on the lead lap.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So Will McKellar, Kevin Winker, front row for this restart. Bailey Brannan in behind them with Dalton Henson as well. Jonathan Day, Austin Stamper, Mike Rinker, Steve Scarborough, Justin Day, Blake Hullett. That's the top 10. This is going to be a short run to the stage end here. We've got a very, very quick run in stage 2. It's going to be 2 laps to go. So a 2-lap dash to the stage end. A green-white check-it, if you will, for the stage end at this point of the race. And it's not too much of a worry for those drivers that have gone a lap down at this point. If they're keeping themselves in line and keeping their cars clean, that's what's also important. As Brandon now wants the inside run on Rinker. McKellar, though, is going to block that run for him. Help keep his teammate in P2. Here comes Dalton Henson, though. They're going to have to try and figure out who they're going to try and defend against, because if it's a 2 against 2 scenario, they can't defend against both of them. Mike Rinker, though, wants to try and make it a 1-2-3 for the stage end. White flag is out for stage 2. 1 lap to go. And Kevin Winker's now gone to the stage lead, as he'll look to lock it out as a lockout performance here in stage number 2 as well. But Henson wants to have an answer for him. Try and sneak up into P2 past McKellar as caution is out for an early end of the stage. Blake Hullett has gone up in the wall. Stage is over. Kevin Rinker wins it. Kevin Rinker has won it. This is how it's come about. So the 52 again of Steve Scarborough has hooked up Mr. Hullett here, but did Hullett come down on him? That is the major question. It looks as if the 52 comes up high and catches the rear end of him. McCurdy has had a moment as well. How has this happened to McCurdy? Oh, McCurdy's already up on the wall. So I think McCurdy's actually been caught out. Oh, he has. Yeah, he was actually caught out in it. So he actually caught the back end of the incident. As the car came back up on track, he had nowhere to go. Paul Harris got caught up in that as well. Meatball flag on board Blake Hullett's car and Justin McCurdy's as well. Kevin Rinker, though, will win the stage. Good solid points for him on that stage victory. Rest of the field will come in. He's actually going to stay out. Interesting choice to play that sort of strategy game. Nick Mercero will stay out to get his lucky dog. Get his wave around at this point in time. For those who are watching, you don't understand what a lucky dog is. It is whenever we get a caution, only one car is available to get a wave around on the whole field. It is the leading lap down car. The only thing that stops them from getting the lucky dog is if they get an incident that either caused the caution or during the caution period. So if Mercero got a 1X as a part of that caution, he would not be getting his lucky dog wave around. It would actually then go to no one. No one would get it. So for Mercero, luckily he's actually kept it clean enough that he's managed to remain on the lead lap at this stage of the race here. So now, this should be a fairly slow, neat and tidy run, hopefully, as we've gotten to the halfway point of this race. First half of the race, the 2 stages. The last half of the race is a straight run for 125 miles to the very end of proceedings. 125 miles to race win. This is going to be an ultimate push as we've just hit lap 83. This is the halfway point lap. And we're going to be going flag on lap 84. So there is going to be 83 laps to the very end of this race off of the restart. Race controller Brian Pavocic is giving us the update on the stage end and how they all ended up. It's a dog with good luck. Is that right? They're a dog. It's a dog with good luck. They've got they're underdog. Nice beagle film. Shattered Underdog, one of my favourite films of when my childhood was about. But a dog that is a superhero. A nice storyline for 12-year-olds out there that may have enjoyed it at the time when I was 12 and I enjoyed the film. So Kevin Rinker, Austin Stamp at the top 2, Mike Rinker, Cody Pruitt, the Day brothers, Brian Day, and then his son Justin Day. Marotta, Scarborough, McKellar, Henson. That is the top 10. Lap down cars right now, Paul Harris, Trey Martin, Zach Smathers, Charles Rinker, Justin McCurdy is still in pit lane. Rinker's managed to get himself back out there by fixing his car. I think McCurdy's race could be done and dusted. After getting caught out in the issues that he's been having. It's the 9th caution of this race. Technically speaking, we've had 8 real cautions thanks to the stage end earlier on. And if this wasn't an actual caution, we would have only had 7. To look at a little bit of race recap here for you as well in what's happened throughout this race. We've had 9 cautions for 28 laps, 6 lead changes to this point. The race that of course right now is Kevin Rinker, as we've just hit lap 84 of 166. So we're actually going to start that a little bit later, what we should have been for the restart here. So it'll be a lap 85. Lap 85 restart. It'll be 81 laps to the end of this race. So a little bit less than halfway, but that's okay. That's all right. That's okay, and that's all right. Because the drivers now will be looking to lock in. There's no stage breaks to stop them getting to the end. Now it's going to come down to, have you planned your strategy strong enough that you are now going to be able to have a good run home? Because the first few pit stops have led you to this point of strategizing correctly. To get to this point of the race, you should have 3 stops with tyre changes. If you've had more stops with tyre changes than that, you are going to be on the rusty end of some old bad rubber come the end of this race, because you're going to run out of tyres. As Kevin Winker's gotten us back underway here for the stage restart, as they come around onto the back stretch and push up towards turn 3. We're going to take the next 2 laps to give thank you to everyone out there watching by giving you guys the RCR Rinker Construction Remodeling Crank It Up segment here for High Side Motorsports. Don't go anywhere. We're back very shortly.
Maconi.
We now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight till the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air.
Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory, this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag has been ignited.
Does he have enough? Holy cow, baby! A dominant performance.
You gotta say no, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
You gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Drivers, start your engines!
Well, welcome back off the Rinker Construction Remodeling RCR Crank It Up segment and the ab brake as well. We've got a caution here for the 10th time in this race. This is what happened to Jonathan Day during the ab brake that brought out the caution here tonight. Contact with Jesse James has found Jonathan Day up and in the wall. It was net code once again, so Brian Pavocci believes we may be wrong server, not US-based server, maybe a different countries-based server, the amount of netcode we're getting here tonight. But that is what has brought out the caution at this point of the race, as everyone has been trying just to keep themselves as neat and tidy as possible throughout this one. And that's going to be one of those tests that they have to face across the rest of this race, is just keeping themselves in check as we prepare for another restart here out at Kansas Motor Speedway as well. Thank you all for joining us here once again this evening. If you're just joining us, I'm Hamish Munro. Welcome into Infinity Broadcasting. Welcome into High Side Motorsports in the Dodge City 250 here out at Kansas Motor Speedway. 250 miles, 166 laps. We've already run through the first two stages of this race at lap 30 and lap 80 at this point of time. We're into the final stage now, an 81 lap run to the end off of the restart at lap 85 from the most previous caution. We're currently on to lap 92. It'll be lap 93 when we're back underway once again. It will be Kevin Rinker and Austin Stamper at the front end of town. They'll lead us away with Mike Rinker, Will McKellar, Damon Marotta, Bailey Brown and Cody Pruitt, Justin Day, Jesse James, Dalton Ensign. That is the top 10. 74 laps to go here at Kansas. It was a good restart from Rinker. Great restart from Mike Rinker as well, who's gotten up now into P2. Instead of Austin Stamper, you got him behind him, Will McKellar, his teammate. They're trying to work together. They watch from the inside. Here comes Damon Marotta trying to get past Will McKellar, putting the pressure on him because he wants to stick to Mike Rinker like glue, knock him out of the in-season tournament and move on to the semi-final at Richmond in 2 rounds' time. It's big pressure at the front end of town, but still so many miles to cover to get to the end of this race. It is anybody's game. They can try him off the wall, though. Austin Stamper nearly lost it. Nearly collided with Braddon. And this is now when you've got to hope that the second half of the race, you've brought your fast repair to the game. If you've had to use it to this stage, you might be dead in the water if you get caught out in an incident. If you get caught out in pit lane without being able to fix your car, your race could be over and done with in a matter of seconds. You've got to buy a ticket to the end. That is the name of these longer races. That is the name of the 250 miles spectacular that comes at the midway point of the season. Will McKellar, new fastest lap of the race, 29.85 on the last time by. This man is in a rocket ship right now, and there's a big one on the main stretch. Austin Stamper into the wall. It's brought out the caution once again. I think, was Jonathan Day involved? No, it was the 10 of Justin Day. Massive netcode contact. Massive netcode. and has put him up in the wall. Just, oh my God, multiple cars were in that, multiple meatball flags. Stamper, Owen, Justin Day, Blake Hullett, all with meatball flags off the back of that incident. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that all of that can come about. And the server is US Eastern Ohio, so it's not even a server issue that is causing all this netcode. Oh, Stamper, that car's not good. He needs to get it in pit road. That car is not good. Race leader in though, Kevin Rinker, McKellar, Mike Rinker's in, Marotta, Pruitt, Henson in, Owen, of course, in, Justin Day in as well. Scarborough into pit lane. Brannon, James, Day, Anderson, Day, Mercer, Linger, Harris, Stamper, they've all stayed out. Trey Martin wants to get his lucky dog wave around. Zach Smathers is into pit road, just to offset a little bit. And honestly, like, we can't even... I think the issue that's coming about it, because this netcode has been so bad today, this has probably actually made the incidents and the issues so much worse. It really has. Netcode seriously affects... It seriously affects how poor incidents are. And actually, it's almost like a rubber band. When you pull it back, it's easy to pull back, and then it fires off as soon as you let it go. That's what netcode's like. It is violent. Because it's the way that netcode works is the way the servers work. They're guessing where your car's going to be, and sometimes often it can get it wrong, and it thinks your car is further over than what it actually is for the other person who's connected with you, and then that's where netcode comes about. So it's one of those things to go racing with people. It's tough to deal with, tough to measure. It's a tough system to work with as well. And the easiest thing to do is you just don't give penalties to those that have netcode incidents, because ultimately, if netcode wasn't there, was the contact going to happen at all, wasn't going to be as violent as it was, you can't prove it. So it's hard to penalise people for something that is a little bit out of their control. Now, if someone turns down and you can obviously see that, yes, the trajectory of their car is going towards the other car and contact's going to be made, then you can make a determination on that. But if they're side by side and there's a little wiggle and then almost half a car width is between them, you cannot even claim that contact was always going to happen. So it's a very difficult and fine line to manage for race control to be able to penalise drivers correctly off of those incidents. So Bailey Brannon into the race lead will lead us off the restart zone to the green flag here out at Kansas. It is 67 laps to go. Jesse James on his heels with Brian Day, Magnus Anderson, Jonathan Day, Nick Mercer, Paul Harris, Stephen Linger, Kevin Rinker, Will McKellar. That is the top 10. And what a race it's been. What a tough race it's been as well for those drivers out there. Brian Day, P4. Just trying to fly on strong here. Has had some good performances this season. Missed the first few rounds, but still has a chance to get himself into the top 12 for the chase at season's for the clash. For the chase, I was right, at season's end. Bailey Brannon, hot start tonight. Difficult run early on. Already used that fast repair, so he cannot afford to get into trouble as he leads this race to James in behind him. Oh, up in the wall though, Brian Day will scrape it. That'll really scramble up the cars behind him. Bit of a door though between McKellar, and that was Justin Day. That was Justin Day caught up from that door of McKellar, and he's now been dropped back below the big gaggle of cars that are finding away. The top three, they'll be on the breakaway here. Brannon James and Anderson, all the lap 81 pitters. Their tyres are still fairly good as we got a caution here. We have got a caution as Stephen Linger has gone around. Down at turn 3. So you have Paul Harris to his inside. Harris holding his line all the way down the straight. All the way. Linger self-clears across the nose. Round he goes. Not much more Harris could do. There is not much more Harris could do in that scenario. This will give Zach Smathers the lucky dog wave around. So he will get back onto the lead lap. Thanks to that caution. But from the perspective of the sky, it looks to be a self-clear for Stephen Linger. We'll see if Race Control agrees with us. It's one of the fun games that I'd like to play is, can I call it right? Do I call it how I see it? And is that correct? Or is Race Control, with the amount of angles they can look at, the amount of detail they can go into, are they going to find something that I can't see? And then will that change the determination from them? Front runners are coming in. Smathers has gotten his wave around to this point. And the front pack are all into pit lane. So there'll be slightly fresher tyres going on board these cars, with fuel on board them as well. Remembering they can get around about 32 to 35 laps out of a tank of fuel. The critical lap they've got to get to tonight is roughly lap 131. It's between 131 and 135 is the critical. As Braden will beat Anderson off of pit lane. Smathers is going to come in as well, actually. So he got his lap back, and now he's going to remain on the lead lap by getting into pit road. So McKellar will lead us off this restart to Mike Rinker, Cody Pruitt, Kevin Winker, Damon Marotta, Steve Scarborough, Justin Day, Jesse James, Dalton Henson, Jonathan Day will be the top 10. It is so hard right now to make a determination on who is going to win this race, who is going to be there at the end. Have your strategies been called correctly? It has been toing and froing. It has been almost liquid strategies throughout this race, as drivers have tried to determine how much they need to push, how much they need to try and keep themselves clear. Smathers has actually managed to jump those 3 cars after they've had to fix some damage into pit lane as well. He'll get out back in P16. But liquid strategies have been the key tonight. You've got to be able to maneuver yourself around the channels that are pushing hard for you out here. For McKellar, Mike Rinker, Cody Pruitt, Kevin Winker, Damon Marotta, Justin Day. This is now going to be a big restart zone. Kevin Winker's got good gap back to Mercer Road, but Marotta and Rinker, they're right there together. Day and McKellar, they're not too far away from each other as well. So those in-season tournament battles, oh, they are exciting. Absolutely exciting to put them to this point. Pace car is going to come in. Drivers prep themselves, ready, willing, able. As it is green flag once again here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Who is going to fight their way forward? Who is going to keep themselves in line? And who is going to fight for the in-season tournament glory to come at the end of Kansas Motor Speedway in the Dodge City 250. The longest night in High Side Motorsports. Mike Rinker, though, trying to go to the race lead on his teammate Will McKellar here to the inside. Can he get this done? 61 laps to go. It has been a hot restart to this point of the race. Cody Pruitt's right there with the 325 racing crew of Rinker, McKellar and Kevin Winker as well. And it shows the pay-to-win tactics of Mike Rinker looks to pay off for him. As they continue this push and shove and continue to fight their way through as best they can. Dropping low now goes Mike Rinker. Race leading position at this stage. He's having a hot run here tonight. You've got to be impressed by it. There's got to be some impression of enjoyment, some impression of quality driving throughout this race. It's been an unbelievable scenario thus far of figuring out where drivers are going to be, who's going to survive. To confirm, Justin McKinney's out of this race, so is Austin Stamper. Nate Owen's still in pit lane fixing his car, but I think his race is done and dusted after being caught up in some big moments thus far. It is a survival game, though, as the 250-mile race here. It is pure survival. And that's what you've got to try and keep yourself in line for. Mike Rinker, race leader Kevin Winker, Will McKellar, maintaining that position with him. As they continue this game of to and fro. They continue this game of battling hard for position and fighting to get themselves into a race win. Not only that, top end points for their season, but also the opportunity to knock someone out of the in-season tournament. That's what's on offer for them. Braddon, Pruitt, they're fighting away. Massive contact though! Massive contact. Steve Scarborough straight in the back of Cody Pruitt. Cautions out. An unbelievable incident. How has this one come about? So Brannon to the inside of Pruitt. Let's try and watch this battling. We'll scroll back a little bit here. So Brannon's on the tri-oval. Pruitt in the middle. Brannon starts to come back up on the track. Self-clears across the rear of Pruitt. Turns him round. Up into the wall goes Pruitt, and bang! Straight in the back of him goes Scarborough. Nowhere to go. Anderson was caught out in that as well. I think Dalton Henson was too. Somehow Dalton Henson was as well. That was a huge moment. A huge one, my lord. Scarborough and Pruitt into pit lane. This will give the lucky dog now to Trey Martin, who'll get back on the lead lap. Controller about to make a determination on that incident. Let's drag him in here and ask him for himself how that went about for him. Hello, Mr. Brannon.
Hello.
An unfortunate incident for yourself.
Man, I don't know what happened.
So that from the bird's eye view, it was you came up off the tri-oval onto track and then just hooked the back of Cody's car. From the bird's eye, it didn't look like he moved at all. He was just sat there.
I'll have to watch it back because I haven't seen it. If I did, then that's on me, but hang on. Oh, dang, okay.
I suppose you've just been told the news that you've got a drive-through for that.
Yeah. I thought, well, I know we were 3 wide. I was trying to give room, but, well, that's unfortunate. It's fine. I'm not too happy about that, but, I mean...
I suppose
I don't know what I'm supposed to...
Well, the beauty is you'll still be on the lead lap, I suppose.
Yeah. I'll still be on the lead lap, but I just hate that I have to deal with this drive-through. And, yeah, that's very irritating.
I suppose.
I don't know what else I'm supposed to do there.
Stay left.
I tried, brother!
You had space to the left, though. I will say that. You'll see when you look back.
Well, the issue, probably the issue is like you don't want to enter the corner too low, and I was just trying not to enter the corner too low. So
you also
I don't really know.
You also don't want to hook another car, though.
Well, yeah, well, obviously. Obviously, yeah, obviously. But I thought he was going to be a little bit higher up. I thought I had more room. It happens, you know. Well, but I got to face the consequences of my actions now. That's how this works, you know. I'm upset about it, but I made the damn system, so you know what? It is what it is. It's working. It's penalizing the bad drivers, okay? And tonight, apparently, I am one of the bad drivers. So I will take my penalty on the chin. You will see me drive down pit road, and then hopefully we can get back in this thing and try to come back up here and win, because I feel like I have a lot of speed tonight.
Well done. Well, hopefully you have a bonita run to the very end of this race, Bailey. We'll put you back into the team. Best of luck here at Kansas.
Thank you.
So bonita boy Bailey Brannan back into his team channel. He'll have to drive through pit lane off this green flag restart. Front two, though, Mike Rinker, Kevin Winker leading the way with Will McKellar, Brannan and Justin Day up there as well. And look at how tight that battle's going to be in the in-season tournament scenario. Justin Day is going to be right up there with Will McKellar in a 1v1 Block C battle for the ages. This is going to be unbelievable to watch it all the way to the race end. Watch for Brannan. He drops down low. He's going to have to come into pit lane. Remember, he's got the drive-through to deal with. Everyone's going to have to try and sneak their way around him. As through will come Justin Day by him. Brannan's actually going to stay out there. He didn't actually get an opportunity to slow it up enough to bring it into pit road, so he'll actually drop down at the back, and then he'll drive through. But they push on at the top end. As Mike Rinker leads the way to his two teammates of McKellar and Winker on the podium right now, leading from the front. You've got James in behind them, Jonathan Day, Paul Harris, Dalton Henson. They're not in the in-season tournament right now, so they're all battling hard for bragging rights and positioning. That's what's that's what's available to them, and that's what is on the line. 50 laps to go. We're around about 20 laps away from money stops. 20 laps away from getting into pit road, fueling it up, putting some tyres on it, and getting your car to the race end. McKellar now trying to get past his teammate Mike Rinker. He'll do so nice and tidily. Kevin Winker tries to cover the line for James in behind, not to let him get an opportunity to come through. Can they find the pace that they need to fight themselves forward? Brannan commits to the drive-through penalty, gets that done. There he is. He's actually going to go a lap down because he got caught out with all that traffic. And because he had to drop to the back of the field, he will go one lap down on the race leaders. Not the moment that he would have wanted, but as we stated, to break the rules, do the crime, you got to do the time, and that's what he's just done. Kevin Winker got to be careful not to make contact with his own teammate. They're getting closer and closer together. Mike Rinker trying to sneak on through. Kevin Winker out of the race lead. 48 to go in stage 3 to the checkered flag of this race. They are pushing on strong at the front. I tell you what, this is a fantastic little run for these front runners. Battling hard for this position. Damon Marotta doing well. Mike Rinker will be starting to feel the pressure here, knowing that he's right there in behind Jonathan Day. And now Marotta's right on the tail of Rinker. The Block B battle is heating up amongst this top 5. As Jonathan Day could be an X factor here on his debut here tonight. Marotta wants to try and fight with Mike as much as possible. Get by him, knock him out of the tournament, and really put the pressure on 325 Racing. 46 laps to go. This has been a tough run for some drivers tonight. It's always a tough run when you get to the longest race of the season. As up in the wall as Will McKellar. That'll drop him positions now. He's got a massive wiggle off of turn 2. That is a huge moment in terms of this race. That's dropped him right down the order below, crucially, Justin Day. This is not what McKellar needed. And now that he is amongst this mid-pack, he's in danger zone. Because if anyone wrecks back here, he does not want to be involved with it. Still within the top 10. Look at the sparks flying off them through turn 1. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, all the sparks that are coming off them. Off the wall, there goes McKellar again. He's got to be careful here. He is bleeding positions the more that this race goes on. He's on one of the oldest sets of tyres in the entire field, trying to push them to their absolute maximum. And he is struggling to hold on to this thing. A little bit of a door between Anderson and Harris, but they keep it nice and tidy as they push up towards turn 1 and turn 2. Side by side together again. Brian Day in behind them as well is Stephen Linger. This has been a hotly contested race to this stage. Unbelievable. We have got 5 cars out of this race, including Pruitt, Scarborough, Stamper, McCurdy, and Roberts. Nate Owen is still out there. He's actually about to get his lap back on Scarborough and Pruitt. Rinker's back out there, but he is 2 laps down. Brannon and Martin, the top-seeded cars that are 1 or more lap down in this race. 43 laps to go. And right now, Kevin Winker's in control of the field, and crucially, Damon Marotta is in P2 at this stage. What a run for Damon Marotta to get this car up into P2, up 17 positions. And to be fair, Mike Rinker's gone right there with him this race. He's up 19 after starting on the back row. Justin Day's up 14 into P7 in a great run. As Damon Marotta, can he take the race lead from Kevin Winker? Yes, he can. Marotta leads the way. Unbelievable. To this stage of the race, with 41 laps to go, the freshest tyres in the field have paid off for Marotta now to get to the race lead. The one thing that those early stoppers do not want, those that pitted on lap 97 and 96, the one thing they do not want is for them to have to take a green flag stop and then a caution to come out and they get locked a lap down. That is the one thing that they don't want, and that is the risk that they've put themselves in with the 15 lap offset that they've got for themselves to those that pitted on lap 112 or 113. So that is the difficulty that they face. That is the possibility that they face when they come down pit road. So they've got to hope it stays green. That's what they've got to hope for. They cannot afford a caution when they come down pit road. If they get one, they're going to get locked a lap down. But when will they pit? Last pitted on 97, they're out to lap 128, so they've now done 31 laps. With a couple of cautions thrown in, they could probably go, I would say, 4 more laps. 4 more laps for them to get a caution, get a free pit stop, take the pressure off them. 4 more laps, though, before they need to pit. And if they don't get the caution that time and it stays green, they need to have a hope in hell that it will go caution free until the end of the pit stop cycle. That is the risky tightrope walking game that those cars are playing right now. It's a risky game, it's a wicked game, but it's one that they are trying to risk for a major, major result here tonight at Kansas. Sometimes you have to risk it all. Sometimes you got to go all in on a bad hand and hope that it's good enough to win you. Don't bluff yourself, though. Don't bluff yourself into thinking that you're going to be a winner. You need to be confident that your strategy is going to work. Otherwise, your stress levels are going to heighten and you are going to struggle to keep it together throughout the race. Six laps to go. This has been a hot part of the race thus far. They've kept themselves in line and in check. And that battle pack is so, so close. From P3, even P2 of Jonathan Day, all the way back to Blake Hullett in this battle. Zach Smathers is really at the back end of this train. It's been an unbelievable fight, an unbelievable battle for all these drivers to stay in line and stay in check at this point of the race. Damon Marotta doing a great job, but the fact that Kevin Rinker is fighting so strong still with Jonathan Day ahead of him. He's not getting an easy day thus far, is Kevin, but as we said, he's been driving incredibly well. He's been up the front at a lot of pace, hasn't been caught up in anything, luckily for him. He needs to finish out this race in a similar fashion. Needs to have this formal fashion go his way to the race end. And he needs a solid performance tonight at Kansas to really put the pressure on the field for those that are dropping points to him here tonight. That is the key for Kevin Rinker. What I will say is, there is a world now, though, that we get to the chase end of the season. He's been the most dominant driver in the regular season. We get to the chase, he has a poor run across 4 rounds, puts himself in a bad position, and then can't come back and win the title. That is what's on the line. Will McKellar in the pit lane, though. He's having to commit to a green flag stop. So this is now crunch time for 325 Racing. They've got to hope it stays green. They cannot afford a caution when they come down pit road. McKellar. Oh! Cars are coming into pit road. Here we go. Marotta, Rinker, Henson, Linger. They're all in. Under green flag. Brian Day in as well. Jonathan Day now to the race lead. They need this race to remain green flag until the next batch of cars come down pit road. They cannot afford a caution at this point in time. Justin Day in, Jesse James in as well. Paul Harris in. This is critical crunch time for those drivers to push on and survive. Kevin Rinker comes out ahead of Damon Marotta in pit lane in a crucial pit stop in this race. That was very, very important for those guys. Very important. They had to get it to perfection. Magnus Anderson now in. Zach Smathers remains out on circuit. Trey Martin, Bailey Brannon, they continue on. Justin Day, Jesse James, they're going to exit pit road. Are they going to get out ahead of Rinker and Marotta? No, they're not. They're going to remain behind them. So they come out in behind. It's now going to offer up a little bit of spread. Mercer out of the race lead. Jonathan Day into pit lane. Offering up a little bit of spread. And once again, I mean, imagine this scenario. 3 cars have stayed out. Let's say we get a caution right now. There's only going to be 4 cars on the lead lap. This is going to be a tentative scenario for those that have come through pit road and for those that are on track right now. Because we've still got the tight battles occurring. It's just between cars that are a lap down on the race leader. They need their cars to stay clean as Jonathan Day exits pit road. Justin Day battling away here with Jesse James as well as Magnus Anderson. So they've all got a tight battle pack happening. McKellar fighting hard with Henson, I do apologise. And then as well, that battle between Kevin Rinker, Damon Marotta and Mike Rinker. The in-season tournament battle that's happening on the track in front of us of Marotta and Rinker together on the circuit. Together. This is unbelievable. It's an unbelievable storyline. There you see Zach Smathers, he'll come down pit road. So will his teammate Trey Martin, they'll come in together. So Mercer remains on circuit in the race lead. Bailey Brannon still needs to pit as well. Kevin Rinker right now is the corrected race leader. And this has been an almighty race. It has been a long race. We've been here now for 2 hours, racing along, fighting along. The race has been going on for about 1 3/4 hours at this stage. Mercer is finally in, by the way. Smathers now exits pit lane, but he'll go down the order because he went so long without some draft. But he is on the freshest tyres of the whole field. Mercer in. So Rinker doing a great job here in the corrected race lead. Smathers has come out well ahead of them, so he'll actually remain on the lead lap. Trey Martin has gone a lap down once again, so he goes back to the lucky dog position. But Mercer should give him his lap back down. He's in pit lane. Brandon's in as well. So Kevin Rinker, race lead. Damon Marotta, Mike Rinker in behind. 3-2-5 Racing, we've got to do something here. The teammates have got to work together because they've got to get Mike Rinker past Marotta. This is a Mount Everest level battle for Damon Marotta because he doesn't want Rinker to cost him his spot in the tournament, and he doesn't want to allow Mike Rinker past him either. So this is a tentative scenario for Damon Marotta to manage. 24 laps to go in this race. It is lap 143 of 166. They get out, they get past the car that was exiting pit lane then. That was not Bailey Brandon. Who was it? It was someone exiting pit lane. I'm not even 100% sure who it was. It might have been Nick Mercer. No, he's already out. Well, I'm losing my mind here at this stage of the race, folks. Losing my mind. But what we're finding is we're finding a hot race that has been caution-filled with a bit of thanks to some netcode being a major factor in determining where drivers were going to end up. But it's also then led to giving us a phenomenal battle for this race lead and a phenomenal battle for this in-season tournament as well. There might be a bit of an awkward fight next time out for the in-season tournament when we go to Richmond in 2 rounds' time, if we get the scenario of Kevin Rinker versus Mike Rinker in the in-season tournament. Teammates, team boss versus his teammate to get themselves to the final out at Homestead Miami Speedway. And then talk about this battle. It's going to be Zach Smathers versus either Will McKellar or Justin Day. What sort of fight is that going to be like? And imagine that McKellar somehow gets knocked out and you got one side of the bracket, it's all 3-2-5 Racing. The other side of the bracket is 2 of the other top 3 teams. I mean, it's an unbelievable scenario. An unbelievable scenario that you can put yourself in. And one that I think is going to really be spicy come the end of this in-season tournament. That is what is on offer for us. And it is exciting, exciting stuff. Now, there's discussions in the backgrounds for improvements that can be made for next season or changes that can be made for next season. Some of them to do with the team standings, some of them to do with other things. There's things that I want to talk about with the admin team post-race to ask them, hey, can we try and implement this for next season in terms of in-season tournament, see where we stand and see how we go. Because I think there's a really fun way it can be determined for next season of how you get into the in-season tournament. It's going to be one thing that they're going to have to try and work out going forward to try and not make it too complicated, but also make it interesting as well. It gives a bit of a storyline to talk about early on in the season. So Jesse James is in and amongst this tight battle here with Jonathan Day and Justin Day behind him. Magnus Anderson at the lead of this little battle pack as well. And the back of it is Steve Linger, as well as Day looks to get past Mr. James here. So his teammates will be looking to work together to try and get by Jesse. Oh, Jesse, they're getting loose off the wall. Gave a bit of a door there. Nothing egregious. He allows him past. Linger will look to get past James as well now. It will get that done. Justin Day, Steve Linger has been through pit lane 10 times tonight, as has Damon Marotta. And the fact that Marotta's car is up in P3 after 10 pit stops is unbelievable. And the fact that he's up 16 positions, although he's having to fight hard here with Mike Rinker for in-season tournament honours, who's up 21 positions at this point of the race. 17 laps to go. in the final stage of this one. Are we going to get a late race caution to bring some magic and bring some spice to the end of this one here at the Dodge City 250 for Kansas Motor Speedway? It has been an almighty, almighty effort for those drivers to try and hang on and to try and keep themselves neat and tidy all throughout. And now they've just got to try and keep the survival factor cranked up. Keep their pace cranked up as well. And make sure that they make the race end. Get the points on the board. How it stands right now, it's not going to change the lead of the championship, of course. Kevin Rinker would only extend his championship lead. It would be very interesting how P2 would line up in this race, depending on where Charles Rinker has been finishing this evening. So that's one thing that I would be eager to check out post-race, is the standings, to see where drivers are going to be laid across the board and where they're going to be laid in the standings of this season, because we're getting into crunch time, folks. There's 4 rounds to go, 4 rounds to get yourself into the top 12 to fight in the chase in the final 5 rounds across August and the start of September. Once we're back from Sonoma, it is a straight run to the very end of the season. This next break is the largest break that we're getting before season's end, 2 weeks. We won't be racing next week. We'll then be racing the week after. But the point of that is that we're then going to be racing straight up season's end. Sonoma will be going racing on July 12th. We'll then come back for Richmond, Homestead, August 2nd. We'll then be Talladega. And it is a run to the end of the season. July 12th. All the way to the Charlotte Classic on September 6th. We will not miss a week with you. So it'll be those final 9 rounds, 9 weeks in a row, 2 months of racing for the end of this season, and the halfway point of the season will commit to that. 12 laps to go here at the Dodge City 250 for High Side Motorsports. So we're getting down to crunch time at the end of this race. Without a caution, it's not really going to throw too much spice into it in terms of who is going to end up in a positive position come the in-season tournament. The closest battle we have for this tournament right now is Marauder versus Rinker. They are right around each other, by the way. Right around each other. As Marauder's just started to drop back a little bit of time from Mike. The next closest, of course, is McKellar and Justin Day. Could something happen to take McKellar out and give Day the position to get him to the next round? Furthest battle that is currently happening on track, of course, is Mercer and Winker. The only non-battle right now is that pink battle for Block B and Zach Smatters, who all we have to do is complete a lap tonight. Or complete the start and park it measurement system. He's well and truly done that to this point of the race, so he will be at Richmond representing his team in that in-season tournament once again, but now to the semi-finals. The furthest he's ever made it in the in-season tournament. It's a fantastic and cracking job to do to get himself to that point. As Damon Marotta is running strong at the moment. He's got the lap traffic in behind him right now of Nate Owen, who is just trying to get his car to the race end. Marotta's dropping a little bit of time here to Mike Rinker. 9 laps to go. Are we going to get a caution to the race end? There's Justin Day. He's trying to claw the time up to Will McKellar. He's got to try and get past Steve Scarborough, the lap traffic, and have Jonathan Day help him get dragged forward up to the back of Will McKellar's car. They've got to work together here. They've got 1 lap fresher tyres than McKellar does. Can they chase him down with 8 laps to go? He's right there. He's only about a corner ahead of them. Oh, Blake Hullett. Blake Hullett's across the tri-oval. Is this going to bring us the caution that we need? It shouldn't. He's not stopped on the road. A wild ride for Hullett nearly gives us the caution that we needed to really spice up the end of this race is what happened. Oh, what has happened with Smathers there? So, Hullett runs high, taps the wall. Smathers doesn't really have anywhere to go. He gets launched off him and across the grass. Very, very weird. Very, very weird. Let's see here, right on board with Justin Day. There you see the red car just in the distance. That is Will McKellar. He's running out of laps though, is Justin Day. He's only got 6 more laps to get this done. Does he have enough time to chase down the 2.5 second gap? I don't know if he does. He'll come past Jonathan Day. And now Justin will try and push on as best he can. Jonathan should give him some push here if he's tucked in behind him. They're trying to work together to chase down McKellar. It is as tight as you can make it. And right now McKellar is trapped behind Nate Owen, Damon Marotta, and Magnus Anderson, who's just snuck past Marotta as well. He is stuck at the back of this battle pack with Steve Scarborough in it as well. 5 to go. There is Justin Day. Bailey Brannon now a lap down. Needs to try and allow Jonathan Day to help push Justin ahead. Although, will Brannon help him? Or is he going to harm him? 4 to go. 3 seconds is the gap between those cars. For Mike Rinker back to Damon Marotta, it is 1.4 seconds. 4 laps left in this race with no signs of stopping just yet. We got a little taste of it with Hullett, who crossed the grass. We thought maybe it was going to get the caution out there. Charles Rinker's just run through pit lane. Cody Pruitt's now in as well for a final stop. And Stephen Linger, Nick Mercero battle away as well. 3 laps to go. And it looks to be a cruise to the checkered flag. Doesn't look like it's going to go overtime. Doesn't look like we're going to get the fairy tale ending we perhaps thought we were going to for some of those drivers who wanted to sneak their way through to the next round of the in-season tournament at Richmond. It looks like it is going to be 3-2-5 Racing dominance that is going to carry them to 3 cars in the semi-final. 2 laps left. Barely any time on the board. And no time for drivers to try and sneak their way into a better factory position. As Mike Rinker looks to be in a safe spot with Magnus Anderson right on his heels. As soon as Kevin Winker enters the start zone, he's going to get the white flag. There it is. Final lap of the race. We're going to go the regular distance. 1:66. Kevin Winker is 1 lap away from a race win here in the longest night in High Side. And there doesn't look to be enough time for anyone to chase down their competitors, for Marotta to chase down Rinker, for Day to chase down McKellar, even for Mercero to chase down Kevin Winker. As he'll come through turn 4, it's gonna be back to winning ways. Kevin Winker takes home the race win at Kansas. Magnus Anderson home in P2. Mike Rinker home on the podium in P3. McKellar home in P4. Ahead of Marotta, Henson, Day, James and Day to make up the top 10. Put the line through Justin Day, Damon Marotta, Nick Mercero, Rob Stevens Jr. Put the tick next to Smathers, McKellar, Rinker and Winker. That is your final 4 in the in-season tournament. Kevin Winker will celebrate the race win. He'll celebrate moving on to the next round of the in-season tournament and the matchups that are going to be taking place at Richmond in 2 rounds time, 3 weeks time. It'll be Kevin Winker versus Mike Rinker and Will McKellar versus Zach Smathers at Richmond Raceway. That is going to be a tasty and enticing battle. Can Winker get 2 in a row? Can he win 2 tournaments in a row? Time will tell. As he does a Polish victory lap here tonight. And we'll get our race results on screen for you. Kevin Winker wins it ahead of Magnus Anderson and Mike Rinker on the podium. It is then Kevin Winker, most laps led tonight, 61 laps led. William McKellar had the fast lap of the race. He also had pole position. Of course, it was, cannot forget that it was Kevin Winker ahead of Magnus Anderson, Mike Rinker, Will McKellar, Damon Marod the top 5. Dalton Henson, Justin Day, Jonathan Day, Jesse James, Brian Day was the top 10. Nick Mercer, Stephen Linger ahead of Paul Harris, Zach Smathers, Blake Hull at the top 15. Bailey Brannon, Trey Martin, Charles Rinker, Nate Owen, Cody Pruitt, Nate Owen, the top 20 in the M. So then Steve Scarborough, Austin Stamper, Justin McCurdy, and John Roberts was the back end of the field. We're going to have podium finishers in. Have a very quick chat to them. Mike Rinker's already hopped into the booth, so let's quickly chat to him first of all. Mike, welcome in. P3 on the road for you. It was nearly a podium lockout for your team. Magnus Anderson, though, paid a little bit of heartbreak for your team in terms of wanting to win or getting a top 3 lockout, but nonetheless, you move on to the next round of the in-season tournament, and at Richmond, you're going to be facing your own teammate in last season's in-season tournament winner in Kevin Winker. How does that feel?
Oh, it feels good to move on. I know next week I'm going to have one heck of a challenge to beat Kevin. Kevin's pretty fast, and if it comes down to fuel mileage, we all know what happens there. So,
well, it's not next week, because next week we're off. The week after we're at Sonoma, non-tournament round. So you've got 2 rounds until you have to face him at Richmond.
Oh, yeah. Still, it's gonna be tough. Richmond, I feel like I'm pretty decent at Richmond. We'll see how that goes. I know, coming off a 3 there is always tricky. So it'll be tricky little short track and see who can finish the race ahead of each other there.
Well, that's right. It's going to be tough. Obviously, your teammate McKellar goes against Smathers in that next round of the tournament as well. How are you confident he can get that one done, or do you think it's going to be a tough day for him against Smathers?
These bracket deals, anybody's day can be anybody's day. I felt like I had a pretty good chance against Damon, and man, he really was proving me wrong there. So I barely got him sneaked out. It can be who finishes the day. You never know.
Well, that's right. It's always tough to make it through, but we'll see what happens. You guys are guaranteed to have a car in the final. So I suppose that's a benefit for you as a team. It depends which ones it's going to be. If it's going to be 2 of you, if it's only going to be 1 of you, and if it is 1 of you, if it's going to be you or Kevin. That will be the one to try and figure out, I suppose. But Mike, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
I'd just like to shout out everybody that makes this thing happen, man. Race control, broadcast, admin team, everybody. Thank you.
We appreciate your time, Mike. Best of luck at Sonoma in 2 weeks' time. Enjoy your July 4th weekend next weekend. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See ya.
Bye. Next up, we have P2 on the road in Magnus Anderson. Magnus, could you have hoped after the heartbreak early in the race where you were very distraught and upset with what happened that you would have finished this one in P2?
No.
It's a long race, man. You were almost internally crashing and burning with, I think it was over 100 laps to go still. And Magnus does Magnus things, gets himself up into P2.
It sucked having to tow. It just killed my whole mood. And then the rest of my mood was, I could still win this race after I got back on the lead lap. And I think I could have. I think there's a few things that if I had a redo, which you don't have redos, that I would have done. I would have pitted probably a little bit on the same lap as Winker. And when I caught all those guys, honestly, I should have just pitted then. Because the problem that I was getting was I didn't want to show my cards too early and show everyone that I could fucking outrun them. That I could outrun them on the top. And then that last run there, I went straight to the top and passed damn near everything. Sucked the doors off of everybody while I was passing them.
That swears cost you $5 to the swear jar. The swear jar being you're paying $5 now towards the sponsorship of the final round of the season at Charlotte.
All right, deal.
That's what you get. Every swear you get. I mean, it's how much does it cost to sponsor a race? I think it's like $20. So you get like 4 swears, and then you're just paying the final round for me, pretty much. But
all right. We ready? Kids, cover your ears. Tabernacle. What's another? Vefancuso. God, I gotta. Pinchinhuelo. I don't have another one that I can think of off the top of my head that's a foreign language. That's all I got. That's 4, so I'm up to $20 now.
Okay, well, you can pay the final round for us then.
All right, deal.
Well, Magnus, we appreciate your time. You're always a great driver to speak to, of course, as well. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, Hatch Designs, Hatch Hatcheries, Racing Boys, my mom, my dad, Dale Earnhardt, The Wall. The Wall's always nice to me. I gotta go give her a kiss after I'm done. And my fiance, I guess, since everyone else thinks their wives or their girlfriends or whatever. So thanks to her for making a very nutritious protein bowl before this race.
That kept you fired up and fueled for this one. But best of luck in 2 weeks' time when we go to Sonoma. Magnus, enjoy Independence Day weekend next weekend, and we look forward to seeing you once again in a few weeks.
Oh, brother, I'm gonna be shirtless, flags in both hands, AR
pics
on the back, fireworks.
We better get pics.
Explosions. Oh, I'll make sure to get you pics, brother. All right.
Good, very good. Fantastic. Well, Magnus, best of luck at Sonoma. Thanks so much for coming over to chat to us. Congratulations on P2.
God bless.
Thank you. And finally here tonight, we have our race winner in Kevin Rinker. Kevin, congratulations. Race win for yourself. You move on to the next round of the in-season tournament. Are you going to be able to beat your team boss next time at Richmond in 2 rounds' time and take yourself to a second final in a row for the in-season tournament? I mean, last time you seemed to be an underdog. This time, well, there's no way you're ever going to be an underdog in the in-season tournament again after your performance last season. But can you make it 2 in a row?
I mean, I certainly think I can. I like Richmond, you know. It's more, I like kind of little short track style tracks, but anything can happen at them short tracks, you know, wrecks and all that. So it's, you know, we still got to come with our A game. We can't just take Mike as, you know, as an underdog or whatever. We got to come prepared, and it's always harder to race your teammate like that, you know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Richmond's kind of been one of my favorites, but if I do make it past Richmond, I'm not looking forward to Homestead because I really don't like that track. So, that may be not so good for me. But like I said, we'll see. We gotta get through Sonoma and Richmond before we get to Homestead. So, but yeah, tonight, you know, I didn't really think I had the fastest car. You know, I qualified second, but after that first run there for the caution, I fell back to like 5th or 6th, and I didn't really seem to have much speed, but this kind of strategy worked right in my favor tonight. You know, I came and got tires there before the stage, picked up stage 1, and then kind of got off strategy again to stage 2, same thing. You know, got lucky there with the tire strategy, and then I kind of knew around lap 100 if you pitted there, you can make it in 1 more stop, and I had 3 more sets of tires laying, so I had an extra set for a late race caution. So I came in on that caution at 95 or something. Got tires and then was saving a little bit just to make sure I had enough of fuel, and then it went green there. And then once that last pit stop, man, that was the turning point. I don't know if you watched, but I closed up on Damon there, huge coming into the pits. He was kind of conservative, and I got that thing in there right on his bumper coming to the pit road, closed up the gap, and then beat him off pit road. And I think that was the difference. You know, clean air is huge in these cars, so once I could just hold him off there the first 10 laps after going there, he fell back to Mike, and him and Mike were battling, and I kind of just drove away. So that was definitely the turning point for the whole race for me, was getting out of the pit road there and executing that to perfection.
Was there a worry when you had to pit earlier than the rest of the field that a caution may come out and lock your lap down?
There was, but then I felt like it drug everybody in because I think everybody after that pitted with the next 5 laps. I think they kind of seen the tire fall off, early in the race, so they kind of almost knew that, hey, I got to pit for tires or I'm not going to even have a shot. So I think that kind of forced everybody's hand, which worked in myself and Mike's favor. So luckily it all worked out for us.
Well,
But yeah, if a caution would have came out, we'd have been done.
I need to know how close you were to that happening. Blake Hullett crossed the grass at the tri-oval. If he had stopped on the track, there would have been a caution and you would have been locked a lap down. It happened in those 5 laps. Like, it was that close to giving us a caution. It was so tight. But Kevin, I mean, a fantastic race for yourself. You move on to the next round where you fight Mike at Richmond in 2 weeks' time. We've obviously got to get through Sonoma first, but congratulations to you on the race win. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out good to Bruce Milberger, as always, for coming aboard and sponsoring me in all my leagues. Haven't really been racing much lately with vacation and work, so it's nice to finally get his car back up here, on the podium, and give him a shout out. All Winker Nation that watches, Hannah, Amanda, Brandon, Justin, Brett, Nicole, Dylan, Gordon, all them guys that come out every night and support me. I can't thank them enough. I know they're in the chat all the time, chatting it up, so thanks to them. Nate Cogdale, Sonic Graphic Design, for the paint. Even any paint stickers, designs, and stuff, check them out, Sonic Graphic Design. All my boys over at 325 Motorsports, we are absolutely destroying it this season, and I'm proud to be part of that team. I think we got 3 in the top 5 tonight. Nick bounced back for, I think, 10th or 11th after his rough night. So, I mean, we're running all cylinders, all of us. We feed off each other. We work well with each other. So, shout out to those guys, and shout out to Mike for bringing me on this season. It's been a blast, and looking forward to battling at Richmond. All of the league admins that put this on, Mike, Charles, I'm drawing a blank, Zach, all them guys that put this on, and it's a blast to run. I love running this league. Look forward to every Sunday night. So keep up the good work, guys. And then you but not last, Hamish. We appreciate the broadcast, man. I can't even speak, but appreciate the broadcast, man. You do a hell of a job, and I love going back and watch it. So keep up the good work as well.
Well, thanks so much, Kevin. Really appreciate it. Enjoy your Independence Day weekend next weekend. We'll see you in 2 weeks out at Sonoma to see what happens in the road course havoc that it can bring.
Sounds good. Thank you, man. Have a good night.
No worries, you too. Well, thank you to those who came in and have a chat to us as part of the podium finishes here this evening. Next time out on the road, as we said, we're going to be at Sonoma Raceway in 2 weeks' time. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be live on July 12th. That will begin the 9-round run to the end of the season with no breaks in between. 9 weeks in a row, we go racing. Sonoma Raceway will begin it. Then we go to Richmond for the next round of the in-season tournament, where Mike Rinker and Kevin Winker will battle on the A side. The B side will be McKellar versus Smathers. Only 2 can go to Homestead in the final. Who's going to get there? Only time will tell. And then it's the run to the end through Homestead, Talladega. The chase begins at Chicagoland through Watkins Glen, Macho Ham 250 at Bristol, Phoenix Raceway, and then the Charlotte Classic returns on September 6th. For your final round of the season. Big thank you to all the series sponsors, of course. Maconi Setup Shop, Rinker Construction, Remodeling, Lifepath Realty, Safe Electric and Plumbing, callsafe.com. Blackheart Designs as well. If you're going to get yourself a paint, message me over on Instagram at HM_injection. That's at HM_INJEXION. Or you can find me over on Trading Paints at Hamish Munro. I am accepting requests over there as well. We'll get you sorted with some good deals, some good prices, and get your paint sorted for you as well. And to us here in Infinity Broadcasting, you can help support us by clicking the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing right here on the channel. Next week, we've got coming up for you Saturday evening, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, the Sim Rigs V8 Veterans Season 28 Round 2 out at Autodrome Hermanos Rodriguez. Myself and Brett Fisher in the booth for that one. And you can also look forward to next season as well, or coming up in a few weeks' time, possibly even a month's time or so. Premier Endurance League will then be simulcast across both our channel and as well their channel too. You can catch their GT action live on Affinity Broadcasting on Sunday evenings once a month, so you don't want to miss that stuff as well. Big thank you to everyone who's joined us here this evening. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time. Have a safe and happy Independence Day. Next time out, we'll see you in 2 weeks at Sonoma. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
high pressure, high stakes. It feels like the whole world's watching every move that I make. Another sunrise, another warning, but I'm still learning how to hold the line, how to quiet down the noise inside. And the moments slip away when I forget what I need. So I steady up my hands, let the rhythm set me free. I remember to breathe when the whole world shakes me down. Clear mind, finally free. I won't break, I won't bow. I'm holding on, holding on. Yeah, I'm stronger than I seem. I remember to breathe.